I'm here to talk about the inspection of a Jasper jumper. What is a Jasper jumper, that you're wondering? The Jasper jumper or a gentle jumper are two mechanical devices that are in place in your mouth, in place of the rubber bands that people would have to help mold their mouths. If you don't wear your rubber bands, this is what you would get. It's a permanent device that you cannot take out. So for the patients that don't like to wear their rubber bands, and the dentists don't feel that their mouth is shifting the way they're supposed to, then they get forced to either a gentle jumper or a Jasper jumper in place of their rubber bands. The Jasper jumper will exert 360 grams of force, and then the gentle jumper only exerts 75 grams of force. What we are looking for when we are inspecting these Jasper jumpers are short shots, which are when a part of the fixture that is not fully formed. So any part of this metal that is not fully formed, then that is what we would consider a short shot. The specs of the Jasper jumper are specs of other material that is adhered to the Jasper jumper. Specs may not hinder, the actual functionality of a Jasper jumper, but they would hinder the appearance. So that's one of the inspections that we would not necessarily what we call would be pink slipping for, to where they would have to look through all of the parts made in that same lot number to see if we have to pull out anything extra. The last one that we would call is flash. Flash is when extra material anywhere on the Jasper jumper that was not roughed off properly. With our Jasper jumpers and our gentle jumpers, after they are formed from the machines, they have to go through a roughing process. With that roughing process, it's kind of like the opposite of what the term is called. So it's the roughing process, but it's where they would go into like this giant tumbling machine, and they would smooth off or rough off any of the rough pieces that are left on there from the molds of the previous machines. Flash can hinder a lot more of the actual jumpers, because if you have extra flash on any of these parts, as you can see, it's right up against the gum line, and then that can irritate your gum lines way more than what they would be used to, and our patients would not want that. So we cannot have flash on any of our products. Short shots, we have a tolerance of that, where if something is not fully conformed, we have a tolerance of what we are allowed to pass and what we are not. And then flash, we are not supposed to have any of that. After the inspection process is complete, what we would do is, if we would find any of the imperfections, then we would have to notify the person with any of the above problems. We would go to our coordinator, and then she would then take it to the department that they either have to re-rough it or scrap it if there is not enough for the inspection. After we after we notify the person with any above problems, then we would fill out the production log sheet, update it on ShopView, which is our computer systems, and then we would deliver it on to the next department, which is usually considered punch press, and then they would add, or they would add the extra parts to it as well. And that is the end of my presentation.